They were talking about using computer-assisted physician documentation. It's kind of jumping into the CDI world. And to your point, Jesse, that you don't have enough CDI professionals, I think this is kind of the quote-unquote answer to that.
What I've always wondered, like the entire time I've been in COVID, I've always wondered, our guidelines change and guidance changes, but we know that there are not enough CDI people because physicians and providers, they're in a lot of places their documentation is really not up to par. And with all these changes, like there's not really enough people to really guide them to help them navigate through. And I just don't know how that gap needs to be bridged, but it definitely needs to be bridged because another thing that the people where I work now, I code charts for South Dakota. And the documentation by the providers, it's just I mean, when I read a chart, I'm like, why can't you just make a diagnosis? No, seriously, it's like, why is it always this versus that? Coming from when you work inpatient, if you have a consult and the doctor says one thing, the attending has to confirm it. It's not like you just take what they say. So that's where all this conflicting information comes in. And I'm just not understanding, or there needs to be a way where there could be education of the providers to make everything more cohesive.
So I read an article. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really agreeing on Jesse's part, and I think that some companies like ABC are focusing on that part. They are expanding their auditing services for the physician education part, and they wanted to make documentation more clearer. So yeah, some companies are taking it seriously, although they are doing it. I think they are doing it both ways, as well as they wanted to make more something that will bring them money. But yeah, also they are taking the initiative, and I think auditing is gonna be the next big thing in the market of the revenue cycle as well as in the healthcare.
Well, from a compliance perspective, auditing should have always been part of that, and monitoring and making sure that the documentation is there and supports diagnoses and procedures and the like. I was reading an article about kind of along my vein with what's going on with the future of HIM, or health information. And they were talking about using computer-assisted physician documentation. Have you heard anything about that? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so they're doing artificial intelligence and putting together these. Well, actually, it's been kind of slowly rolling and moving in the background. It has been for several years, but it's kind of jumping into the CDI world. And to your point, Jesse, that you don't have enough CDI professionals, I think this is kind of the quote unquote answer to that.
Actually,
go ahead.
yeah, actually, I think AI is one of the aspects that there are many software companies and HIM providing companies that are looking forward. Even an year back, one of the CEOs of one company approaches me to help them in the coding part. They wanted to create a software in which, suppose patient before coming to the hospital or coming to the physician office, they will enter their data. They will just enter it out that I'm having cough and from 3 or 4 days, okay, and I'm on these medicines, okay. So that software, with the help of the database and the database technology and the AI, it will give an provisional diagnosis to the doctor. So all the information will be already there. Doctor just need to see that, and the AI system will definitely wanna take it to the another level and give the doctor and what legal diagnosis the patient is coming with. So yeah, lots of companies are working on that.
Yeah. And it was talking about, I found the article, uh, it was posted the other day, October 18th, in the ICD-10 monitor. I don't know if you all read that. It's a great reference. But they were talking about how this AI software programs would help with some of the common queries. So things that you see all as CDI professionals that you see all the time. So you're not consistently or constantly asking the same question kind of over and over again to multiple physicians. And it allows them to kind of get an understanding and document real time versus after the fact. So I guess it will be some kind of notification or something in the chart, since, most hospital systems are on an EMR, that will pop up with the quote unquote query. But yeah, I thought this was really, really, really interesting how, and then it wasn't saying anything about like removing the CDI professional. It was saying it actually would free the CDI professional up for, at least on the positive spin of it, to free the CDI professional up for those cases that are more complex. And so where, they would require more of their knowledge base and skill level to assist with, assisting the provider with the query that they need to use for those types of scenarios. But for those like minor things that you see all the time, like that you're like, they don't get this yet, then the AI system would kind of take hold of those and use those. But then they were also talking about the whole compliance piece around it and making sure that if something like that is used, that they have the necessary oversight and monitoring activities to make sure that it works, and being transparent about things if they don't. So I thought that was really, really interesting, since we were talking just about the CDI program. But yeah, it's a lot. And then, because that's one of the other things that they're looking at in the coding world too, is having some type of the computer assisted coding. And again, that kind of morphs the profession into more of an auditor role, because then you're kind of checking to make sure, or validating things versus actually assigning and applying the codes. So it's a little different spin on things.
Yeah, I think 3M is already almost there. I think they might be working on it. I've seen this software, and that sometimes, the part that you do, the AI already does that. They read it from documentation, and it already says that the patient is having pain and down, and they already show it in the suggestion section. So we can see a major change in the future, in the near future, I think, for the coding AI part.
Me personally, I'm a little less optimistic about the capabilities of AI, because I think it all sounds nice, but healthcare is complex, and at least for right now, like the experiences that I've had with computer assisted coding and any kind of like AI applications is they're very linear. It's similar to like a Google search where you put in cake, all kind of cake comes up, but all kinds of, but you're not looking for all kinds of cake. You're looking for a very specific cake. So you have to sit through. And when you have people who have multi-system failure, and all these things are correlated, that makes it more complex. And I'm sure that at some point in time, AI will get to that level, but I just don't see it. And I still think that all that is still nice, but at the end of the day, you still need a provider to give you a diagnosis that is clear and concise, that has calculated all that information, all of that they have scanned through and read through into one diagnosis or a couple diagnoses that this person has definitively where there's no question. And I don't know if AI has that capability to do that just yet.
I agree. I don't know about AI stuff. It's just like, even with Epic, like, when a doctor puts in, they look at something, it's just, they get this list and they just pick, it's just like, unspecified more than likely. So I guess what we're still supposed to, I guess, follow.
Exactly. I'm agreed with all that, but from a very long time, almost decades, we are talking about the good documentation and some better ways to get a good documentation, but still, we are at the same point. So I don't think that AI could make such a big difference. But yeah, people might have been panicked in the healthcare industry just because of the transcription part. But in the medical transcription field, VRS AI technology has make it a little bit more easy for them. So yeah, definitely it led to an impact on the jobs of the transcriptionists. So that can be just because of that people might have worried about the
Transcription is linear. You're just repeating you're just typing what it said. There's no decision making in medical transcription. And there's some medical decision making that you have to make as a coder when you read this information. Do I have enough meat to make this, to assign this code for this condition? That's the difference.
So in this, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm agree on that.
So in this article, it talks kind of to that where it mentions, it says that pretty much the system would kind of go through, where did I see it? It's used to scan the chart for clinical indicators, and then it would kind of put together a query for clarification to the provider. And I think it's something that probably more often than not is being pushed toward the physician or provider side of the house, because, the complaints or the concerns that, it's the inbox being full of queries is just an additional task or layer or of work that they have to do. And the selling point for this would be that these suggestions could quickly come up again while the physician is actually with the patient, because it's gone through and quickly scanning all of the patient documentation to come up with things that would help them in their documentation concurrently versus retrospectively. But I mean, I'm all with you guys. All I think about is iRobot when I hear AI and those things. But again, not that they're bad, but that's all I think. And how they could turn bad.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh no, I was just saying, okay, well, if that's what it's gonna do, like pop up like in Epic, if you do something and you figure a hard stop or something, then all right, it's just giving them a little kind of hard stop to the jump or whatever. Okay, but I don't know about the rest of it.
Yeah, to quote the article, it's like presenting AI generated suggestions based on evidence within the chart, while in the moment of patient care, with the information being quickly consumable with minimum cognitive burden, is far better than retrospective work, often coming days later and detached from the inline workflow and knowledge of the current patient condition. So that's what they again, I think it's more or less a selling point from the provider's perspective.
I think that it's
But it could be a slippery slope there.
I just find HIM to be very interesting, and especially because I came into it after, from being a nurse. And the interactions between nurses and doctors are nowhere near the interactions between coders and doctors. Because it doesn't matter how much you query a provider, because when you get into clinical documentation, they talk about physician query response rate. Because you can send all the queries you want, but if the doctor's not going to respond,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't respond in time, it doesn't matter whether it was generated by a computer or by a code.
True.
And that's where, because the onus at some point there needs to be more education on physicians, because what I have found being a coder, right? Because I found being a coder that coders are well, most people outside of nurses are intimidated by doctors. Nurses don't give a crap, because nurses and doctors really go at it, in day to day, whether people realize it or not. And most nurses are not afraid to assert what they know, or to challenge the doctor, or just ask them, what do you want to do? I need that. What you're saying is not clear. I've had doctors that wrote orders. You wrote the order wrong. I cannot believe you have to change it. So at some point in time, the rubber has to hit the road, and these people have to start, documentation has to be better, and there has to be more consistency. And even aside from that.
Thank you all for joining. This has been great. I love it. I love it. Every week it's a joy, and I learned something new as well. So now y'all want me to be a union boss. Oh, that tickled my spirit. Remember my motto, don't wish for it, work for it. And I will see you all next Saturday at 9 a.m.